Yes, it is live. Hello and good evening, everyone in the Parent to Parent group. A very warm welcome to all of you in today's session. Today we have a very special guest with us today, Dr. Girish Arora. Dr. Girish is a Secretary, Indian Academics of Pediatrics, Panipat 2013 and 14, President, IAP again, Panipat 2014 and 15, Secretary, IMA, Panipat 2018-19, President IMA Panipat 2019-20. He is awarded PGPN degree by Boston University in 2017. District Coordinator for IAP NRP. These terms, I think Dr. himself will tell what these terms are. IAP NRP Program 2016-17 and National Coordinator for Indian Academics of Pediatrics Touch Program 2015 and 16. We welcome you, Doctor, here on this program. And as everyone is aware, today's topic is related to COVID-19 and kids, basically how parents can take care of the kids in this pandemic time. So without wasting any much time, because everyone's time is very precious, especially Doctor is here today with us. So I'll come straight to the point. Uh, as 2021 and 2020 were quite difficult years for the parents and especially for the kids because they were staying at home, not doing much activities. So there was a lot of anxiety and stress which everyone was going through. So, as per you, being a doctor and dealing with kids, what do you think was the main concern or is the main concern with parents regarding to COVID-19?
Thank you, Jyoti. Thanks a lot. It's very different kind of platform that I'm here on today. Normally, such kind of meetings are generally held with my colleagues, either my seniors or my juniors. But such kind of direct interaction with the parents themselves, itself is a new experience and something very much the need of the time. Because so
Right,
many times, even in the busy OPDs, even when the parents, one thing they are till date they are scared to go to visit the hospitals until it's an real emergency. They don't want
right.
to go to the hospitals. They avoid the crowded places. And even if they go, so there are so many things about this COVID-19 that they want to talk to the doctor, but the time is a major constraint. So maybe
Exactly.
this time, the next few minutes and of this session, we can utilize for this interaction. And I would really welcome any queries or any question from the parents who are attending the session right now. We'll try to answer as soon as possible during the session. If it's not possible, then maybe we can get back to you later with the right answers to the best of my knowledge.
We will, for
So,
sure.
Jyoti, yeah. So, Jyoti, as you asked me, I think first thing that I need to stress upon is that nowadays, the first question that the parents come to me is they ask me, Doctor, abhi aur kitna time वैसे रहना पड़ेगा? And
Main basic question. Yeah, yeah.
frankly speaking, it's very disheartening and it's a very tough question to answer. But we have to now accept the fact that COVID-19 is now here to stay, maybe for
Mm-hmm.
many more years to come. And the waves
Many
are like,
more years.
many
That's
more years.
quite scary.
Actually, yeah, that's what I was going to tell you that it's quite disheartening. The answer is quite disheartening. And the
Uh-huh.
fact is that we need to learn to live with it rather than run away from it. This is going to
Okay.
stay. For sure. Hmm.
So this is
It just
quite
shows how
heaviest
to,
start of the
yeah.
conversation, I must say.
But let's start with this. Then only maybe we can understand the gravity of the situation. That what lies ahead. We already have passed 1 year in this pandemic, and
Yes.
according to most of us, we have seen the worst of it, now, and the worst is over. And nobody can, actually judge that what lies in the future. But we can still, have some assumption and be ready what the future is going to, like to be. So, if you remember, swine flu was a major pandemic in
Yes.
2010 and 11.
Right.
And till that date, and like we are now 2021, swine flu is still here. H1N1 has not
Mm-hmm.
gone off. So,
Mm-hmm.
any major pandemic, once it enters the human circulation or the human population, the virus or that bacteria, particularly, that uh, literally उसका जो virulence है या उसका जो
Uh-huh.
attacking power है वो with time धीरे धीरे कम हो जाता है.
Come on,
But
but it
as per
stays.
but it stays. So
Uh-huh.
the
Okay.
the right way to live and to understand this discussion is to first to accept the fact that COVID-19 is going to stay. Now we need to
Uh-huh.
learn how to live with this COVID-19 in the coming years.
Okay, because that's the basic question what every parent goes through whose kids are small, and because schools are not open, their play areas are not open, it is very stressful for them to see their kids in front of the gadgets. So this builds up a lot of anxiety and stress in parents.
No,
So this comes up with
sorry to interrupt you, Jyoti, because the first thing I would like to, instead of moving ahead, let's go back to March 2020 when it first started, when the first
yeah.
lockdown happened,
Mm-hmm.
जब जनता कर्फ्यू लगा था. So I
Huh.
think now we have already into 1 year, because we need to know
Yes.
what have we seen in last 1 year, what have we learned in last 1 year, and how can we now, you, you know, एक साल पहले हम लोगों को कुछ नहीं मालूम था. It was a total panic situation when it happened. लॉकडाउन हो
Right.
गया, सब डरे हुए थे, and it was the fear of unknown, the fear of doom, which was presiding over a majority of population.
True.
But
True.
1 year into this pandemic, at least we have learned so many things, that how to fight with this, how to live
Mm-hmm.
with this, how to survive this, right? So
Mm-hmm. Right.
let's go back 1 year. So last
Okay.
1 year में क्या क्या हुआ? Like we can divide into the kids into 3-4 groups. Say one is the infants who are less than 2 years, then there are
Mm-hmm.
preschoolers, and schoolers, and teenage.
Right.
Infants के साथ
Okay.
पिछले एक साल में क्या हुआ? They are the happiest of the lot. Let me tell you. मम्मा
Yeah.
पापा दोनों घर पे हैं, दादा दादी दोनों घर पे हैं, and they are getting the best time of their lives. The
They
infants,
are on
right?
vacation, so their vacation is going on for so long, right?
So
So the
if you
stress
ask
is
me,
basically with teachers and parents and schools,
yeah,
not with the
yeah.
kids, right?
So if you ask me, उनकी पार्टी अभी चल रही है,
उनकी
and they
पार्टी
don't
चल
want
रही
this pandemic to end. क्योंकि the day it ends, the papa will go to office, mama will go to workplace, and he'll be again left with the maids and the caretaker. So he is the happiest of the lot. One thing.
है.
So
Yeah.
they are the one we don't need to worry about. Then come the
Uh-huh.
preschool. Even
Yes.
preschoolers are also quite happy. They had a good time with their family, with their parents, with their grandparents. Because of this work from home culture, many of the working couples, they move to their native hometowns.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
these kids just spend a lot of time of this 1 year with their grandparents, जो कि उनको पहले
Right.
कभी नहीं मिला.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a boon for both of them, for grandparents and for these age kids. These only thing that I can make out is that in these kids they had a delayed speech, जो preschoolers थे, and
हाँ.
they had some kind of social deprivation. मतलब उनको थोड़ा stranger anxiety रहता है. They are
Hmm.
once they come into the society, किसी stranger से मिलते हैं, तो they are not very happy with that. So
कहीं ना
little bit
कहीं
of
पे सेटबैक आया ही है जो सेगमेंट्स आपने दिए हैं बच्चों के उनको 3 सेगमेंट्स में डिवाइड किया है तो मुझे लगता है
Hmm.
कहीं ना कहीं पे इसका एक सेटबैक इसका एक इम्पैक्ट आया है चाहे वो इन्फेंट्स हो टॉडलर्स हो प्री टीन्स हो
Hmm.
या टीनेजर्स हो इनकी
Hmm.
सोशल ग्रोथ एक वो रुक गई है एंड
Actually,
वेकेशन
yeah,
पीरियड व्हाट यू आर टॉकिंग is it's quite a long period. It's been a
long
year that
vacation
kids
period.
are yeah kids are sitting at home for a year now,
Hmm.
and now there is
Actually.
no uh, defined thing. Okay, after a month or 10 days or after 2 months school will be reopened and they will go back to their places, enjoy with the
Hmm.
friends. Now I think kids, whether they are toddlers for kg1 kg2 kids, they are still looking forward to go back to school, enjoy with their friends and all. So that is also
Actually,
a segment again.
yeah.
Now kids are, they're fed up of sitting at home. And, with this, they are
Hmm.
facing some challenges. Parents definitely are facing some challenges regarding this because kids are getting obese, no physical activity, on
Hmm.
that
Actually, I
front.
was coming to these points, what you are actually
Yeah.
mentioning. So
Mm-hmm.
next we come to schoolers. I mean, that age group is say somewhere around 7 to 8 years, up till 12 to
Mm-hmm.
13 years old.
Yeah.
ये वो एज ग्रुप है जिसमें कि I think I could see a huge lot of change. One, as you said, the kids are getting obese. There is no physical activity. A lot of time
Right.
is being spent on the name of online classes. They are having,
Mm-hmm.
these pains, neck pains,
Neck
headache.
pains.
They are getting
Yeah.
the spectacles. So many things are
Mm-hmm.
happening. And
Mm-hmm.
lastly, these are the one जो कि हमने आज तक कभी अपने practice में देखा नहीं था, who are getting panic episodes, who are getting anxious. They don't understand कि
Okay.
what's happening. हाँ. So
Right.
even
Uh-huh.
so many times I have seen in the last say 6 to 8 months, For unnecessary reasons, such kids going unnecessary investigation, उनके MRI हो रहे हैं, EEG हो रहे हैं, blood test हो रहे हैं, because the child is
Seriously?
behaving actually. In
Oh,
the middle of
that's
the
sad.
night, 2 o'clock, say the child gets suddenly very frightened and he starts behaving, having some kind of panic attack. Even the
Uh-huh.
doctor doesn't know कि 8 साल के बच्चे को ये हुआ क्या है, करना क्या है. Father doesn't know,
Mm-hmm.
mother doesn't know. तो ठीक था, अचानक क्या हुआ है? Whereas in fact
Mm-hmm.
it's a built-up anxiety which has come in the form of a panic attack.
Ah,
So
okay, okay.
normally
So,
these panic attacks we used to see in the age group of say 15, 16 years in the teenage. Now that
okay.
we are now seeing in the age group of 8 to 10 years also. So this is
So
one thing, a challenge for.
what advice do you, give to parents when they are at that state and, child is facing such problem?
Yeah, I tell them to make the child increase the physical activity to the best of their abilities, if possible.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like if it's possible for them to take the child to a park for to mix with to play with other kids, let him play. Try to cut down the screen time, that is the online classes and then everything wherever possible. And
Uh-huh.
secondly, जो घर का एटमॉस्फेयर है वहाँ पे
Uh,
कोशिश करो ये चीजें ना डिस्कस करें बच्चों के सामने. डोंट राइट
okay.
कि यार ये बिजनेस में ऐसा हो गया, ये कोविड 19 पता नहीं कब जाएगा, या उसको
Okay.
इन्फेक्शन हो गया, इसको हो गया, दैट
So
काइंड ऑफ
basically healthy
नेगेटिविटी.
conversations to be
Yeah,
done in
healthy
front of kids.
conversation which boost up the morale of the kid. A
Mm-hmm.
8-year, 10-year-old cannot understand, but he can definitely grasp the negative feelings from the parents. And my
Right.
parents are talking to negative. They are depressed. They are fighting all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Papa is not happy. Mama is not happy for some reason, and he
Mm-hmm.
just beyond that he can't understand what's happening. So
Okay. Yeah.
internally, the child is getting anxious, and then if the anxiety keeps building up, it will end up in someday such kind of panic attack or some behavioral problem. I mean, he will have some
Right.
tantrums, something like that,
So
for no reason.
so it's the effort of the parents which has to come in and change the
Yeah,
patterns. Yeah.
yeah.
So
And one more thing. I think
yes.
all parents should also talk to the school authorities wherever the kid is
Uh-huh.
going,
Uh-huh.
to pressurize them at least to start opening school at least 1 or 2 days a week, if not 7 days a week.
So is it safe for kids to go to school
Yeah,
in these
what now school are supposed to should now take care is hybrid kind of teaching education
mm-hmm.
system rather
Mm-hmm.
than या तो ऑफलाइन या ऑनलाइन, दोनों नहीं चलने वाले. ना तो ऑनलाइन लंबा चलने वाला है, ऑफलाइन अगर
Uh,
चलाएंगे तो कहीं ना कहीं बीच बीच में उसमें ब्रेक्स आते रहेंगे, कभी ना कभी स्कूल बंद होगा, दो
right.
टीचर पॉजिटिव आ गए, दो बच्चे पॉजिटिव हो गए, स्कूल बंद हो जाएगा. दैट्स दैट्स
So I think वो एक
दैट्स समथिंग व्हिच
anxiety
इज.
पेरेंट्स में काफी है कि इस बच्चों को अभी स्कूल नहीं भेजना बिकॉज आई कम अक्रॉस लॉट ऑफ पेरेंट्स हु सेज दैट आई एम ओके ड्रॉपिंग अ ईयर फॉर माय किड इफ माय किड इज इन थर्ड स्टैंडर्ड आई एम इन नो हरी टू इसको मैं फोर्थ स्टैंडर्ड में भेजूं अगर एक साल वेस्ट होता है तो हो जाए सो पेरेंट्स आर कंप्लीटली विद दैट माइंडसेट कि मुझे अपने बच्चे को भी स्कूल नहीं भेजना जब तक सब कुछ ठीक नहीं हो जाता है वो एक
I
एंजाइटी
totally
इन
agree.
पेरेंट्स की खुद की है
I totally agree with the mindset of that parent, particular parent, because he's so worried about the health of his child कि गलती से बच्चे को कोई कोविड का इन्फेक्शन हो ना जाए. I totally agree.
हाँ
But at the same time, they have to see what this schooling at homeschooling हम इसको कह सकते हैं, is
हाँ
having a social a negative impact on the psychology of that particular child. कि आप उसका
या
एक सोशल डेप्रिवेशन हो रहा है, उसको खेलने के लिए बच्चे नहीं मिल रहे, प्ले टाइम नहीं मिल रहा, पार्क नहीं मिल रहा, दोस्त नहीं मिल रहे, नाना नानी नहीं मिल रहे हैं, वो कहीं आ नहीं सकता, कहीं जा नहीं सकता, एक पिंजरे में बंद होके रह गया है. तो दैट
एग्जैक्टली
हैज दैट कंसर्न आल्सो नीड्स टू बी एड्रेस्ड. उसका भी एक वे आउट निकालना तो पड़ेगा.
हाँ आई थिंक जो बड़ी एज के बच्चे जो प्री टीनर्स है टीन एजर्स है दे हैव टेकन दे हैव टेकन देयर वे आउट ऑफ इट दे डू जूम कॉल्स अपने फ्रेंड्स के साथ एक छोटे ग्रुप्स बना के दे आर एटलीस्ट
एक्चुअली.
वीडियो चैटिंग एंड ऑल दैट स्टफ बट विद टॉडलर्स definitely it's a concern for the parent also and for the school authorities whether to call them or not on this note I got a question which says it was a question which I received previous to this live what should I do if my child is sick and has COVID symptoms so
Sorry,
should I
there was a
repeat the
loss in the
question again
connection. Can you repeat the question?
okay yeah what should
Yeah.
I do if my child is sick and has COVID symptoms
Okay. So here we are talking about the child who is having COVID symptoms, but who is not been tested as yet for the COVID, right?
Yes, symptoms.
Right. Look, the thing is, the symptoms of COVID, especially in kids, are almost identical to a normal flu. It can be a
Right.
cough, cold, fever, or just a simple running nose. So normally we assume that a kid who is has been in household for more than 8 year old kid who is doesn't have any contact with the outside world, possibilities are he is going to get a COVID from somebody from his own home, from parents or grandparents or somebody who's coming from the outside. So
Mm-hmm.
one thing, if they are having, if that particular child is having any symptom, the treatment has to be symptomatic. आपको कफ का
Okay.
मेडिसिन देना है, कोल्ड का देना है, फीवर का मेडिसिन देना है, and at the same time, I would strongly recommend कि you should go for a COVID-19 RT-PCR test also.
Okay.
That will help. In case that comes out negative, be happy. In case that comes out positive, don't panic.
Okay. So,
Yeah,
so how to
that's
treat that child who is COVID positive?
yeah. So in that case, in just in case that the child comes out positive, आप ये assume करके चलेंगे somebody else in the family is also positive. Get
Mm-hmm.
the test of all the family members done. Whosoever is
Okay.
positive, isolate them. If possible, isolate the child. अगर छोटा बच्चा नहीं हो पाएगा, बड़ा है तो शायद possible हो भी जाएगा. नहीं भी होगा.
Mm-hmm.
The good part about COVID-19 in kids world over till now is that it's a very mild disease in kids. Not a single death has been reported worldwide till now in death in kids. So इसलिए मैंने पहले कहा don't panic. Even if your child comes out COVID positive, don't panic. It is totally symptomatic based treatment. Only idea to get the child tested for COVID-19 is to safeguard rest of the kid, because although nothing is going to happen that to that child, but that child
Mm-hmm.
can definitely transmit the infection to other family members. It can be an
Okay.
elderly grandparent or it can be his own parents. So
Okay.
it has a
So,
symptomatic treatment. Recovery is nearly 100%. Don't worry about that. Rest assured.
mm-hmm.
But take care of yourself rather than the kid. He's going to be happy. Forget.
Okay.
No worries about.
Okay. Okay. I have a similar question which says, what precautions should parents take if both the parents are COVID positive, and if they are staying in a nuclear
All right.
family? So, so
Uh,
that is a concern which I come across a lot, where both the parents are positive and they come up with the question, what do I do about my child, because I can't meet her, feed her or whatever. So they are in a fix at that time. Any advice and anything you want to say on this?
Look, again, the thing will come if they are in a nuclear family. So the isolation, a standard isolation protocol is around 14 to 18 days for a COVID
Mm-hmm.
positive. So if both the parents are positive, so I don't think it will be practically possible for a mother and father to keep a 7 year or 8 year old kid in another room for say 14 or 18 days. And I think I would strongly assume if both the parents are positive, 99% the chances are going to be that kid will also be positive. So
Okay.
that will be a highly, impractical situation to isolate the parents in one room and keep the kid in another room for 14 days. वो हो नहीं पाएगा
Uh-huh.
अगर आप
Okay.
unless you have a support of grandparents. If you are living in a joint family, then it may be
Okay.
possible.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, I think there is no harm in keeping the child with yourself, even if the parents are COVID positive. And
Uh-huh.
be vigilant. टेक केयर ऑफ योर सेल्फ. अपना मॉनिटरिंग भी अच्छा करें और साथ में जो बच्चा है उसका भी मॉनिटरिंग अच्छा करें.
Okay.
प्रॉब्लम आएगी तो पेरेंट्स को आएगी, बच्चे को नहीं आने वाली.
बच्चे को
दैट
नहीं
आई
है.
विश.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much for that. And on that note, can we talk about the vaccination, which is there, which says that kids cannot take the vaccination below 18? It is not allowed. So, any specific reason for that? And if there is vaccination coming for kids, when it is going to come,
Sorry, I
on
again,
what
again,
precautions?
again. Can you repeat the question?
Can we talk about the vaccinations? Vaccination.
Okay, vaccination. Right, right. Please ask me
Yeah.
what you were asking.
So can we talk about the vaccination, that it is not, kids are not allowed to take the vaccination. It is not below 18. And that
Mm-hmm.
part, if you can address. In addition to
Right.
that, kids with special health problems, how do
Mm-hmm.
they deal with this, COVID-19 if it happens to them, or if the life is coming back to the normal, what precautions do they have to take?
All right. Look, one thing, Jyoti, we need to understand, and all the parents who are currently attending this session as of now, is that any vaccine which has been designed till date is not 100% effective, whether it's a DBT vaccine, whether it's a typhoid, whether MMR, chickenpox, or COVID-19. So
Mm-hmm.
they give a partial protection. Some vaccine give 60%, some give 80%, some give 90%. But still, there are still chances of getting some infection. But again, one thing which is very clear in what we call as vaccinology, in the terms of vaccinology, is that if you are vaccinated against one particular disease, so even if you catch that particular virus, the effects of that virus are going to be very mild rather than very severe. So
Okay.
one thing I strongly recommend and I request all the people who are eligible as per current guidelines of the government to get your vaccine as soon as possible. Don't delay it. Don't leave it. It's
Mm-hmm.
most effective way of to fight with the COVID-19. And now we're coming to the vaccination in the kids. So as of
Kids,
now,
yeah.
current guidelines, the vaccination among kids less than 18 years is not being practiced worldwide, but the studies are going on, and the results for many vaccines, including Covishield and Covaxin, are expected to be out in July or August. So we are expecting a major change by the end of July or August, when the new studies are out regarding the safety of the vaccine in kids who are less than 18 years and kids who are having comorbidities. It can be, kid with a kidney problem, with a heart problem, or
Mm-hmm.
who's recovering from a cancer, any of such thing. So studies are
Mm-hmm.
going on in various parts of the world. Another 2 3 months, we are definitely going to get some good data. And what we are expecting is that by the end of next 2 3 months, these vaccines will be eligible for 12 years onwards, and very soon will include up to 5 to 6 years age of kid by the end of this year. That's what we are
Okay.
getting the data. But again,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
if all the family members, take the vaccine, say the parents of the kid, the grandparents of the kid, the workers who are working in home, whether it's a maid or a driver, if they are vaccinated, child automatically is protected. So you
Yeah.
don't need vaccine
Right.
as such. So
Right.
even if the child is not able to get the vaccine, आसपास जो उसके आसपास सर्कल बनाते हैं, जो उसके कोहॉर्ट में है, if all those
Mm.
people are vaccinated, child is getting the protection what he was supposed to get from vaccine. He is already protected. So
Okay.
wherever
That's
possible, get the vaccine.
Yeah, that's a big relief to know that, by the end of July, there will be a vaccination for kids also. I think, maybe, life will be back to normal after
Yeah.
maybe, by the end
No,
of this
actually,
year.
it's quite
Hopefully,
normal. Actually, it's
fingers
quite normal.
crossed. Yeah, fingers crossed. So, we are towards the last leg of our live session. Anything specific which you want all the parents here to know and understand and should keep in their mind regarding the COVID-19 and their kids?
All right. Look, I'll just take 2 minutes of you.
Yeah.
Okay. One thing, as we started this session, that COVID-19 is here to stay, and it's better we learn to live with it rather than run away from it. So,
Mm-hmm.
in future, what we expect is going to happen is that the vaccination drive is going to go up. We expect that maybe another 1.5 year, almost whole population of the world will be vaccinated. If not, so at least 70 to 80% will be vaccinated. So that will be a
Uh-huh.
big relief. But at the same time, the scientists are expecting that once we are through with the first vaccine, the next mutants will be in the circulation. So they are already on the second leg of vaccine, which might be
Okay.
required in the coming few years. So vaccine is one
Uh-huh.
very important thing which is going to protect us from this virus. And obviously, the rest of the things, that social distancing, face mask, hand hygiene, personal hygiene, these things are what which this COVID-19 has taught us in the last 1 year, and that we should strongly, advocate ourselves and tell others in the close vicinity to always follow this. Because the vaccination and these protocols, the COVID-19 protocols, are going to work hand in hand. In fact,
Mm-hmm. Right.
many studies are there in the. I mean, you can Google itself yourself, which say that
Mm-hmm.
COVID-19 appropriate behavior is as effective as a good vaccination drive in preventing the spread of the transmission of COVID-19. So Both
Okay.
things are going to go hand in hand, at least for next couple of years. We are going to see major lifestyle changes, major workplace changes, major changes in the teaching curriculum, the way the schools have been teaching. The next thing which is
True.
going to come up is the hybrid teaching, where few
Mm-hmm.
online classes will be happening and few offline classes will be happening per week. So a lot many
Right.
things are in the pipeline which are going to, be there, which the COVID-19 is going to change. And I think it has, put a reset button to the human population. That now is
Right.
the time to go back to your basics, go back to improve your immunity, go back to stay happy, increase your
Right.
family time, and
Right.
have good food, good sleep.
Yeah.
The things are these are the things which are going to take us through this COVID-19 waves, which are going to come in the next couple of years.
Right, right. So that's very beautifully said when you say that it is there to stay. So we as parents, or in people, in individual, basically, not to resist what is there and start accepting it and start living, positively with this one and look the way outs what we can have out
Right,
of it. So that's very beautiful and a very insightful information what you have given to us. I can see two questions here, and one says for how long. So basically, this is a question which you have already addressed that COVID-19 is there for how long. So it is here to stay for a while, right?
yeah,
Uh,
actually.
yeah. And
Look,
the next,
the thing is, if you really want me to answer that, the answer will be, a very disheartening one. So if you want to answer, I can again go ahead with that. But any pandemic of this magnitude has not been has not gone away in 1 or 2 years. They take at least
yeah,
4 to 5 years to die off. And in the
right,
meantime, we find the ways to, make way and move ahead with our
right,
lives.
right, exactly.
So let it
And
happen.
there's
Don't
one
don't
more
let it
question.
happen.
Yeah, there's one more question. I think when we were talking about the anxiety and stress level in the kids, so this question popped out at that time and it says, what about the 10th class kids? They have their boards very soon. I don't know what the question and what was the thought behind that question at that particular time. If you can understand this, maybe if you can answer. What
I
about
think
the
the
10th class kids? They have their boards
mom
very
must
soon.
be worried that the 10th class boards are just round the corner, and the kid is not prepared for those boards. Throughout, they have been sitting at home attending the online classes, and I think the boards are not going to be online; they are going to be offline, as far
Yeah,
as
they
I
are
know.
going to be offline. And again, the question comes and question arises here. Kids, they are not taking the vaccination. Again, the parents are in anxiety whether to send kids for the examinations or not if they're going, and the kids with the special aids and special health problems what they have, how to again going back to the question again, kids with diabetes, kids with some other health issues, how will they take
Uh,
care of it?
Look, till the time the recommendation for vaccination in the kids in the various age groups of kids come over. Yeah, there was a loss.
Yeah.
So till the time, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So till the time we are getting a good recommendation regarding the use of vaccine in various age groups of the kids of and we have ample supply of vaccine also to achieve that. The still you have only thing that you with yourself is mask, social distancing, and personal hygiene, hand hygiene, and this can only be done on not only for yourself but whoever comes in your surroundings. अगर आप कोई मार्केट
Right.
में जाते हैं बाहर जाते हैं and you find somebody कि he is not doing a COVID-19 appropriate behavior, there is no
Hmm.
harm. In fact, that's your right to pinpoint that person and tell him to wear a mask, tell him to go for hand hygiene, tell him to go for a social distancing. That's for your own
Mhm.
safety. So,
Right.
yeah, if we all take up this responsibility on our own, then I don't think so. The transmission is going to happen. It will anyway go off. At least it will.
Yeah, it will taper off.
Yeah,
Yeah, slowly. Right.
it
So
will go down. It
we'll
will
take
definitely
one
go
last.
down.
Right. We'll take one last question where a parent is asking, how safe is it for kids to use this sanitizer when the kids are too young? I think she's talking about some kids who are, 1, 2, or 3 years old, sanitizing their hands.
Again, oh yes, that's a very, very, very nice question. In fact, I have been waiting for this question so many times, but
Yes.
uh,
So because it's
Look,
a
I
chemical
I
again,
have
and
seen
you are giving
my
your child
mom.
that sanitizer.
हाँ, अरे seriously, मतलब I have seen mothers getting paranoid, fathers getting paranoid. हल्का सा हाथ कहीं लग जाए, sanitizer लगा लो, sanitizer लगा लो.
Hmm.
This is not required actually. Simple
Is
hand
it?
wash a couple of times a day, especially when you come from outside to inside your home, and wash your
Hmm.
hands properly with soap and water. It's fair enough.
Hmm.
I mean, there's no
Okay.
need to put chemical every time, say 10, 10, 20, 20 times per your day, or until unless you're very sure that your hands might be contaminated. Another thing,
Okay.
hands are going to be of any harmful when you're putting your hands here or here. These are the
Okay.
portals of it. अगर आप
Mm-hmm.
गंदे हाथों से आंख नाक और मुंह में कुछ नहीं कर रहे हैं, आपके हाथ
Ah.
यहाँ के यहाँ रखेंगे, they're not going to do anything. कुछ नहीं जाने वाला अंदर. Your skin
Okay.
is thick enough to protect the virus, to not let it go inside. Rest assured. So only thing
Okay.
maybe you just take care of these three portals of entry. यहाँ पे ना
Mm-hmm.
कुछ आप हैंड से गंदे हैंड से डर्टी हैंड से टच करें, and maybe just a
Mm-hmm.
couple of hand washes, a good hand washes with soap, good soap and water.
Mm-hmm.
Few times it is good enough. There is no need to just sanitize hands every time. I'm totally against it.
Okay. Thank you so much for that answer, because parents were quite worried. Kids are so small, and giving them the sanitizer again and again might harm their skin as well. And by mistake they can put their hand inside their mouth. So maybe there's some kind of impact of that
Yeah,
on
one
their
more
mouth.
thing. Instead of teaching kids to put sanitizer, teach. Yes, sorry to interrupt you, Jyoti. Instead of
Yeah.
teaching kids to put sanitizer on your hand every time, it's better to teach them not to put the dirty hands in mouth, nose, and ears. As simple as that.
Yeah.
Nothing else is required.
Right, right. Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much for all the information you have given to us. And I'm sure if people are watching this live or maybe watching it later, if they have any questions, they can put it in the comment section. And Dr. Girish will definitely come back to those questions and address those questions. Doctor, if you have any number or any website or anything which you can put it in the comment section if they want to come to you, and for any online session if they want to take, where should they go to? Any number if you can provide later on?
Frankly speaking, I'm an intensivist, and most of the times I stay in ICUs. So
Okay.
these online consultations, more or less, are not possible. But
Okay.
I'll definitely drop you my mail ID. If any queries, you can
Perfect.
drop me a mail, and I'll reply to that mail.
Wonderful. That's fair enough. Maybe you can put in your questions here in the comment section, and those will be definitely addressed by Doctor here. And I thank each and everyone here who attended the session and who will be attending it later on. If you have any queries, please do post in. And thank you for joining us today. And my hearty thanks to Dr. Girish Arora for joining us today again, taking out time for us. Thank you so much, sir, for joining
Thank
us
you.
today.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Jyoti.
Bye bye.
It's a
Yeah.
pleasure.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. Bye.